Okay, and welcome back to Final Fantasy 16 demo.
Yes, very soon. Actually, as of this recording, my download for the full version has just completed, and I'm very excited to get into that. Also, want to say that
Excellent.
that world map, very strong Octopath Traveler vibes. I'm into it.
Yeah, Octopath, Triangle Strategy,
The
that
Star
Star
Ocean,
Ocean
yeah, Second
R
Story R.
remake.
Suddenly, thousands of red eyes. No, wait till you hear this. Wait till you hear this. His lordship.
In a time before streaming,
His sword.
this was how you had to find out about Game of
The
Thrones
goblin
that
chief
week.
runs off screaming. Straight down a Mormo's gullet.
I think that's the first time I've ever heard anyone say Morble. I mean,
Now I'm
There-
trying to remember if
there's
they
a
say
lot-
it in 14.
yeah, there's
at
a
any
lot
point.
of dialogue in 14, but I think there's much more just text, so I don't actually know if anyone had actually said that out loud before.
Yeah, probably not. It's like I don't think the Morblos or Marbros have been in any of the major story stuff. It's always been offshoots and raids.
I guess, the only one I can think of is, I know it was either Endwalker or there's like a library that had a bunch of Morbles in it. I don't know if they were talking about them by name. But look at all these happy people minutes away from retirement.
No, Father.
Lifetime
just-
of safety.
Still tired.
Yeah, just seconds away. They're gonna sail away on their ship, the SS Live Forever, with a beautiful new wife.
They all like Clive, don't they?
I mean, they have the Phoenix right there. The Phoenix always just comes back when it dies, so
brother will
it's
be a fine
immortality for everyone.
We're all very proud of him.
Indeed. And they got Clive. Clive is awesome. While Clive's around, everything will be great.
You can't spell Clive without live.
The dominance is always born into
Indeed.
our
Think about it.
Indeed.
Doesn't seem fair.
Well, you see, Joshua, some people were just born better.
We cannot live
That's why it's our right to
the
rule.
blessing of the crystals. And the crystals work their magic through.
It's called the Noble Lie.
You have been blessed, Joshua. Blessed to be a dominant, to wield the power of an icon. Our family has been chosen to share.
Amazing how many
power.
blessings turn out to be curses in these kinds of stories.
Yeah, it's a matter of perspective. You just gotta.
Well, I was speaking more literally. Of
Okay,
once you unravel everything, you find out it's like,
metaphorically.
oh,
An actual curse. Yeah.
yeah, like a witch cursed someone like hundreds of years ago, but she didn't do a particularly good job, and just over time they just kind of forgot about it, learned how to spin it to their benefit.
There's a warehouse somewhere that's just full of monkey paws that are fists.
Louder, my friends. Louder.
Yeah. Everyone loves Ned Stark. Only good things will happen to him, I'm sure.
Don't suppose I...
And his children.
And his wife, and his children's
Sure.
children.
For 1,000 generations, blessings upon thee.
Indeed. Surely their line will be used for an abstract legal purpose, mostly because you can't have anything in perpetuity in legal terms, and you have to attach it to something.
Should be wondering where you've got to. So much for you being a
They
fine
did say Jill's name. Is that part of? I have to. I can't stop testing. This is a sickness.
So this
Is
why you
Jill
hide it.
in the active time lore for this just
What's he
because
doing
it's
up
mentioned
here?
one time?
No.
No. Okay.
But the
Not-
dog is.
Well, okay. There you go. We can just look at this cute puppy. This is fine.
Let's see. One gives it a puppy to Clive on his return. They became inseparable.
Every child of the North needs a good direwolf by their side, you know?
Didn't see you at the feast.
Feasts are the only time shields are allowed to take their ease, and I've never really been one for cakes and ale.
Well, I mean, cake and beer don't really go together. So I can't fault him there.
What about like fantasy cake and fantasy ale?
I feel like that makes it worse.
Okay.
Or at least on the ale side, it probably makes it worse. Although, well, I guess fantasy cake wouldn't have the same sugar content that we're accustomed to, so it might be more akin to just
Maybe it's
regular
a savory
bread.
cake.
Never used to. When I joined the ranks, everyone thought I was a spoiled little lordling.
I gotta say, not a fan of
If I
that
didn't know how to
idea.
handle a sword, I'd be a laughing stock. The Archduke's
And
first
I say that as
favorite,
I have made a savory cheesecake before.
or the one they really believe in.
Sweet is better.
It's fair.
That's not true. They don't believe in me. They believe in the power of the dominant.
My brother the Phoenix, ruler over life and death.
It isn't fair. It should have been you.
Should have been no
What it
one.
takes to lead our people.
Yeah.
But we got a whole story to get through before we can
You do.
start casting off gods.
Mm-hmm.
Every man has his duty.
He's not a man. He's a boy, and he's sick.
When our ancestors chose to instate the dominant as the Archduke of Rosaria. All to ensure that whenever our nation stood on a precipice, the Phoenix would rise from the flames to drag us back from the brink.
And here we have what I like to call the
Fate of Rosaria
Wakanda
sits on the
problem
dominant
of
shoulders.
your leader is basically the person who's
To
strongest,
bear that burden.
and that's kind of their only real qualifications. That you've now they, to be fair, they have they do educate them and teach them the ins and outs of statehood as part of it, but like that his dad already said it's like, look, I'm just keeping this throne warm until he's done with his schooling, and then it's his. And it's like, well, that's kind of crappy from all different directions.
Sure.
But I mean, medieval fantasy, it's just sort of what they do. Going back to the whole
Yeah. As far as
No
things in a
lie.
as far as things plot points in a Final Fantasy game, pretty grounded.
I should go
Yeah.
inside. It's past my bedtime. Good night, Torgal.
It's so fluffy. I just want to pet the dog.
like I just wonder how much tech just went into the adorableness of the puppy. Like was it like one team's job to just make the puppy as cute as possible, make him awesome. Like that's all you do for the next 3 years. You make the most adorable dog for a Final Fantasy ever.
Supplies from the capital.
All right, now here's where, if you're a guard, you check on top, check underneath, and you check the back,
Sampling the wearers, were you?
and then you check on top again. As opposed to just kind of looking at one side and be like, that looks like there's nobody in there who's trying to sneak into our kingdom and kill everybody.
Like, oh no. My throat
Oh,
blood.
dear.
I need that to live.
My throat blood too. Brr.
I don't know for sure, but I think that these might be cutthroats.
Well played, clerk. Well played.
Get a little bit of taste of the fantasy salutes, the different factions. Always fun.
Yeah.
Always fun to see fantasy salutes.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I need kind of a Nazi feeling salute, but definitely not with the arm extending thing. You know, like I need about 30% Nazi, definitely something that identifies me as like, oh, well, that's clearly some sort of imperial / fascist salute.
Sounds of a party.
Is that?
Sorry, I'm taken aback once again by how the hair doesn't look stupid.
It looks great.
Yeah, I've just
good.
become so used to I've become so used to like that
Me, Wade.
pixelated see-through
Fuzz, yeah, just
hair
like a-
fuzz effect.
I remember. What is it?
We're under attack.
Maybe you
I
don't
know who
remember
they
me.
are, but
I was just
they
with your
sent
brother
light
like
to half the
10 minutes
castle.
ago.
I must get you to safety, Your Highness.
Very well. I'm ready.
Follow me, Your Highness.
Flight of the Fledgling. We got a controllable Joshua. He even gets
Oh
his own.
snap!
He
I'm a
even
boy.
he even gets his own little pixel art in the menu.
Bloop.
Yeah, look at that! Look at the little tiny little guy. Look how happy he is. Carefree.
Yep.
Are the
Wade
enemy already
is his
inside the
name.
castle?
I'm
I
afraid
forgot.
So, Your Highness. We must hurry.
Wade and Tyler.
Wedge.
Okay, Diggs and Wedge is what they were in my mind, and which, honestly, they are in spirit.
There's no reason not for them not to be.
I want to show the proper respect to Wade and Tyler
Yeah.
because they have strong NPC, like throwaway NPC energy, but I feel like they make a good impression, fully designed, fully voice acted. They gave them the right amount of attention.
Your Highness, he's not one of us.
No. I must do my duty.
Yeah. And unlike Big Brother, Joshua has a long wind up on all of this stuff, and he is exhausted after one fireball. But I actually think Biggs and Wedge are not as prevalent in Final Fantasy as you would think. Or at least not compared to, say, a Cid.
Sure.
Or even a Gilgamesh.
I think of them as being more common because 6 and 8 are like one of my main like touch points for just Final Fantasy stuff.
Yeah, and I mean they're in 14 too, and they're in
Okay,
14
yeah.
a lot.
There's a lot of things in 14, so that's not surprising.
Yeah,
14
I'm
did
yeah,
not see anything from a previous or future Final Fantasy game that they didn't think, we could put that in the story. It'll make sense. Don't worry. Doesn't even have to be a cameo. We can make a plot point out of it.
Yeah,
You can also use Curaga, which doesn't really have much of a use, but has a bunch of fancy particle effects.
full heal, and he's still exhausted. And all right,
Why would the Empire do this?
yeah,
There are
I got money.
ours.
Fortunately, Joshua was not taught the basic rule of kingdom good, empire bad in fantasy stories. Even though realistically, kingdom's also bad, but
Yeah, yeah, especially kingdoms that, as I pointed out, very clearly has a slave caste system
Sure.
going on.
and assuming that this is Clive's past or Wyvern's past, which that's the Occam's razor of explanation. Then Clive is going to be slave caste at some point.
Oh no, Biggs with a different name.
Damn it! His wounds are deep.
I can save him.
Oh, so interesting bit of trivia, I guess, that I found. As we mentioned in the last videos, that this is the first M-rated mainline Final Fantasy entry.
Going
Sure.
to be all right.
When I was reading sort of the response to that, and the developers were saying, it's like, well, we didn't set out to make an M-rated game; it just kind of happened. The reason it actually got the M rating is because of the things like this.
Blood.
Red blood.
Red blood. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of the inverse Halo thing. Halo was M rated mostly just because it had red human blood in it. But once you get to Halo 4, Halo 5, and it starts just being like energy shields for the Spartans and then like blue and purple blood for the Covenant enemies, the rating goes down to a T.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the Game of Thrones content, the swearing, all of that stuff, that was still a T. But once you get that red blood,
Even
rated M for mature.
even the F words, I thought that would have been like a movie ratings where you get one, but
You get one,
you get a second one, and it's like nah.
yeah, I think that might also be a thing too, and that I'm sure that sort of factored into it. But just like reading the story, it sounded like the major deciding factor on this one was the blood seemed to have pushed it over the edge. Like without that, they could have cleaned up some language. They could have done some tasteful edits after the first syllable
Sure.
of a couple of words.
I'm glad that they just went for it because
Yeah.
as much as I adore the storytelling in Final Fantasy 14, I feel like
It holds back a little bit.
It holds back it's still well told, and it doesn't have to be like Hellraiser gore or something, but just a few moments of a little bit more intensity goes a long way.
Mm-hmm.
Sure hope that Magic Al is okay. Magic
You
White
mean
Al.
Hedwig?
Yeah, Hedwig's.
There are chocobos in the stables.
He's fine, right? He made it out.
And get to safety.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I made it 6/7 of the way through all the Harry Potter books, and he was fine. I'm sure he worked out in the end too.
Nice.
I remember.
It's convenient because
Which is why I'm going to hold
Hedwig,
you
I think, was
here
also pretty
while you
close to
make your escape.
retirement.
I will order our remaining forces to rally at the gate. Now go.
I will do my duty. You must do your duty too.
I know.
You have to keep Father safe.
Don't worry,
I'm counting on you.
everything's gonna be okay.
Joshua.
Maybe stacking responsibilities on the kid is not the way to go.
Yeah.
Maybe try a different approach. Like, it's gonna be okay. Whatever happens is fine.
Yeah.
The safety of everyone around you, not your responsibility. You are a child.
Indeed. Or just a
That might not help
Like-
with the guilt and trauma, but I feel like it's a step in the right direction.
or even just false platitudes like it's gonna be okay. Don't worry. Just do what you feel you need to do, and we'll handle the rest. Oh look, Deadman.
I just don't know it yet.
How dare you,
Oh, that
lizard person.
guy stabs you. That's indefensible. Did you get the rest of your abilities? 'Cause there's a
I
few.
don't believe that I have. Pop.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
it has
sure.
it has the charge attacks, and then instant recover. I just love in any game. The taunt I don't think I ever actually used, at least in the demo. But
Yeah,
the enemy
I mean,
the
there's-
enemy step, I was like, ooh, they have enemy step. I was like, this is just Devil May Cry.
Oh wait. Nope. Thought so.
Your
That was
your
the wrong way.
animal instincts that are being represented as a camera icon have told you that this is the right way to go.
Like, okay. Alright. Corpses, health potions. I'm sure this will be fine. Ugh.
I'm gonna be very disappointed if you don't get the double perfect dodge when the time is right. Just put it out there.
All right. Well, we'll try.
Challenge.
Yeah. Actually, the main thing I found I was struggling with was the
As you command.
camera targeting system. Like, it doesn't swap targets the way that I want it to.
Okay. I guess I didn't have a lot
this.
of. Okay. I guess I didn't do a lot of target switching with the groups of enemies, and I mostly just used it when the mini bosses showed up.
That's the end of him. There we go.
Fortunately, you're never more than just like one stinger or one
That's them done.
Phoenix burst
Are you
away. I
alright?
forgot what they called it. Phoenix
I'm
dodge.
fine. It's my father and Joshua
Yeah.
I'm worried about. We should head back.
Is it? Estinian. The Azure Dragoon.
Clive, look out!
It's not, but like in my heart, it kind of is.
It totally is.
It's like it's not, but it is.
An Imperial Dragoon.
And you are the shield who was blessed by the Phoenix. Not that it will save you.
You know this is a real fight because he's approximately the same size as you. Got a parry.
And suck some of that. A little bit of this.
And an uppercut. Got combo to the short. You love to see it.
Stay still, damn you!
Using dodge. Nice.
Yeah, still working on that.
You can also combo extensions, throwing magic in between.
Finish.
You can also do a enemy step into a helm splitter for the. Okay, nice charge shot.
He's open!
Alright. And quick time.
God.
Now, Clive! Have at it!
Nice. Iconic
we go.
punishment.
You're going to regret that, boy.
Alright.
The double jump. Let's see it. Okay, per dodge. Okay, no damage, but you know.
I forgot that he signals on the second one. I was more keep getting hit by that though. Okay, there we go.
You can something I learned from the you can like dodge and then you can get the riposte and then you can cancel the riposte into another dodge to get another riposte. You could do that on the mini boss in the swamp area when he's doing like the 360 spin to win. You can like parry it, parry counter every time it spins around, which you know feels good when it happens. You know, feels good when it happens.
There we go.
Go. Precision dodge X2. Nice.
Okay, still about the same amount of damage from my other combos. That.
Nice.
There we go.
Nice.
Alright, getting into it. Alright, and that.
Oh, dang.
Dang it. Thought I had it. But I
Got
think
that
I
one,
just had-
though. The little...
Oh, he got staggered and I didn't notice.
Yeah.
I was waiting for the second dodge. Ah, yes, another level up that we still haven't really figured out if it means anything.
Yeah, unsure.
Are you hurt?
I'm fine.
Actually, I'm curious if it will say... Okay, it doesn't
No,
say
yeah.
who that guy is specifically.
Yeah, just the factions. Okay.
So, they sent in the Dragoons. Imperial vipers. Do they really mean to invade us?
I would have never thought that the Empire
Were too few.
would be our
They
enemies
were not here to take the castle.
It's quite the twist.
in a Final Fantasy,
Take heads.
or in general, I guess.
Our work is done. We should return to
Like,
my father.
well, has the Empire ever been ostensibly the good guys in anything other than FTL?
In Rosalith. If they were already among
Don't
us,
think so.
what if there were
Nothing
others?
comes to mind.
Father and Joshua
Unless you
in
count
danger.
stories where everyone is bad and Empire is just kind of like the lesser of multiple
The
evils.
perspective,
Yeah.
yeah, Warhammer style, where it's like, well,
What is that?
everyone's evil. The Imperium is humanity, so you identify with them the closest. But make no mistake, they are still very evil, and it's weird that we had to tell some of you that explicitly.
A mysterious kid in extremely large hood. It's
Yeah. I've
it's
been
a
calling
thing.
him.
It's a thing that
Bahamut.
happens pretty frequently.
Yeah, I'm gonna call him Bahamut until he proves otherwise. Spoilers for Final Fantasy X, by the way.
I was gonna call him by a different name, but I realized that actually that's probably a spoiler for a different Final Fantasy. Never mind. Look, there's a lot of Final Fantasies
There's a
that
lot.
have the kid with huge hood
Ride for
on.
Rosalith to rally our forces.
Like even most recently featured prominently in Final Fantasy VII Remake.
On you get, Joshua.
No matter what happens, save the puppy.
Father?
All right, you didn't save the bird,
I'm sorry,
but the puppy's still
Your
okay.
Grace, That won't be possible.
Hedwig, no!
Snakes!
Stay back! I'm warning you!
Run, Joshua, run! No!
Aww,
Seeing red.
he got netted.
Yeah. It was inevitable.
Well, I mean,
It was.
that was the M rating.
Inevitable? Yes, that was definitely the M rating there. I wouldn't say inevitable, but it seems like that's.
Inexorable.
I am looking forward to where they go from here because this is really close to just season 1 Game of Thrones. So, I mean, there's even the dire wolf and the son that is, well, because we know that he'll end up being a slave, so it is
Yeah.
banished to the servitude
To
of
oaths.
the thing, oaths and auspicious birth, treated as a bastard. It's all there.
Yeah. But, very quickly jumping back to the blood and M ratings, et cetera, et cetera. The other thing that came out of that interview was, so I know I've told you and several others before that the one part of FF7 Remake I actively didn't like was how they changed the Shinra Building Massacre to just be alien goo on the ground. They did that so that they could maintain a T rating for the remake.
Yeah,
So
because
that's how the blood thing came up.
okay, yeah, and the original, at least what I remember from, not even from playing originally, but from just like watching other people play over the years, is that first meeting with Wandering Sephiroth is basically just a horror movie, very briefly.
Yeah.
Joshua! Stop this!
He's lost control. I have to do something. I have to save him.
No, my lord! Fall back!
I mean, the thing to do would have been evacuate, get everyone out of the way so that he doesn't hurt anyone else instead of,
Yeah.
running towards the danger.
I mean, this is at least understandable,
Yeah.
character-wise.
I mean, he's worried about his brother.
It's-
That's
it's-
understandable.
yeah,
but
it's
he's
sort
not
of fine.
thinking straight.
Yeah. This is the kind of like rash decision that I don't mind from characters. It doesn't feel like he's holding the idiot ball. It feels like it makes sense,
Joshua, are you in pain? Not now. Come on. You're his shield.
Oh, he's having an anime headache.
Yep.
my lord? What in the name
This is kind of where the demo started.
Yeah. Although so I'm not a fan of the camera work that they did there, because it kind of confuses things a little bit. But
How so? I think that the confusion is intentional because it seems like this is Clive.
yes, Clive did turn into that. What I meant by the camera work is confusing is that it's got the fuzzy perspective, almost as if you're experiencing his headache, and then you see it panning around to look at the drill sergeant, and then at the fiery figure.
Yeah.
And I know, like, at least like it took me a minute the first time I played to pick up this, like, oh, it was Clive. You're like, you, the camera person, are having the fuzzy vision. It's not Clive having fuzzy vision and seeing another fire person.
I think that is still a legitimate reading. I think that the fire person he's seeing is some nefarious actor or spirit or something like that. Because it seems obvious. Well, not obvious, but it seems likely that this is his trauma, extreme trauma, being turned into Ifrit, I guess. I mean, it could still be something else, but this seems like the one that's not in control is our older brother boy.
Yeah, he is. I mean, Joshua's talking. Like, he's inside his own head at this point.
Sure.
Also, now that you're actually playing this, you have to sort of aim. Like, the cursor does this lock-on, and it follows to a degree, but it...
I will say that having this be the actual intro without context just kind of did nothing for me. It's much better now that there's context and the spectacles here. But I have criticisms about this sequence.
Okay, important lore inside of taunting. There can only be one icon of fire.
Auditory is like huge. It is massive.
Yeah, you may be wondering, what's that? And can I get some information on it? No, the active time lore is not working right now.
It's like, it's spectacle time. Read later, you nerd. Okay, fine. We put every particle effect in here. You're gonna see them. Okay, fine. I like the set piece well enough, but I feel like it's a little too abstract. Like, you're in a res level. Like, it's so abstract.
Yeah.
I don't get the sense that this is a real place. And to be fair, in a Final Fantasy game, like, when you get to the end of a Final Fantasy game, you're most likely in some sort of abstract space anyways. But
yeah.
But it seems like it's supposed to be a real place. It's just like, there's so much fog and culling in the distance. It's hard to. It doesn't feel like that. Just kind of like a place to blow up for, a fun fight.
For the sake of spectacle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does make me wonder if, like, all of the summon fights in this are going to be at least partially, like, you transport into an alternate dimension of pain where you are king and your only language is death.
I mean, for other Final Fantasy games, switching to an entirely different mode while summons happen is kind of par for the course. So, that would be unusual.
Yeah, it's a lovely way to eat your cake and have it too.
Even if the cake is savory.
Even if the cake is savory.
This fight seems pretty one-sided.
Yeah.
Seems like you're just kind of beating the crap out of this Ifrit. I guess technically it's not called Ifrit, but I mean, yeah,
It's a free.
that's what it's like an Ifrit. So.
Yeah. This isn't a 12 or 13 scenario. We're going with the classic ones on this one. Free Ramu, Shiva, Titan.
Garuda, because it's Final Fantasy 14, essentially.
Garuda. I don't know. I always forget Wind. I think it's mostly because I just am mostly used to the ones from 7 and 8.
Yeah. What was it in 1? Right? Yeah, because like Cast Tornadoes. What was that one?
I can't remember. Oh no, he's limit breaking.
Damnation. He's using Hellfire. His life bar is gone. Video game. You wanna?
Oh no, he's getting the spike.
Yeah. Okay.
Too late. I could have sworn that I had 5 seconds out of 5 seconds.
Yeah, there was definitely a. Okay, yeah. Get the re-raise on, as is expected. This is complaint number 1.
Yeah, it's like it's a you need to win, but it's a supposed to lose fight.
That's so annoying because it's like, game. I curb stomped this guy. Give me a different cutscene. It can still end the same way. Just say like, like Joshua he's a kid and he doesn't fully understand his powers. Blah 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 blah. Something like that would be fine. but having you actually control the fight makes it very like, okay. They had a story beat they wanted to tell. They kind of got there in a sort of annoying way.
Mm-hmm. Like, I am curious on full version of the game, how much, if any, additional character swapping you'll see. Since in this, it was... I mean, it's still mostly Clive, but you play for Joshua, like, counting this. Mm-hmm. You play for him for quite a significant portion.
If you go into photo mode, there is an option that says hide Clive. For what it's worth.
Alright, well...
Even when you have Joshua there, it says hide Clive, not just like hide player.
Okay, and here we get more of the kind of...
Seems like he's a prisoner in his own body kind of situation. Very traumatic.
Yeah, extremely traumatic, but again, the thing that kind of like muddied it a bit for me was, since you're seeing it from a complete third-person perspective...
Well, there's mixed in with first person.
Mixed in with first person for Joshua.
I mean, I think it's supposed to be ambiguous, but yeah, after watching the second, third time here, it seems like that seems like this is the trauma.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I just feel like this amount of destruction sort of it's just not his intention.
Not intended.
It's not intended at all, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'll fucking kill you!
You shall have to speak of it afterwards. And that was the end of whatever the kingdom's name was.
Rosaria. The
Rosaria.
Archduke of Rosaria.
Don't be a dick there. He wanted to be a dick.
Quite a mess that monster made. Damn shame about the Phoenix, but
Shogunai.
can't be helped. Oh, my condolences, Your Grace. Is there aught we can do?
Haven't you done enough, Captain? Joshua was my world, and now he is gone. I can only pray there will be a place for me in the world his radiance seeks to create.
I can't believe that there's such an intimate betrayal in this clearly Game of Thrones inspired work.
Sure. I want to know more about her motivation because she did seem to be genuinely all about Joshua exclusively. So
Yeah.
I don't know if her indifference here is just to
Your
survive,
Grace, over here.
or if she is actually pissed off that this is how it happened. If it's just like, oh, a necessary sacrifice, both, basically both my children, like,
The rubble must have protected him from
that's
the worst
pretty,
of the
that's
flames.
pretty villainy, but
No need for
Yeah.
that.
I
you need
mean,
to
my
have some
read on her.
motivation.
Yeah, at this point, my read on her is basically
As my
just like,
husband never
she's
can.
interested in pure political power, and to that end, Joshua, as the host of the Phoenix, was basically her in.
Sure he would make an
She
excellent
very
addition
clearly
to the
didn't have
Imperial front.
much respect for the husband,
Sure.
kind of outside of his ability to provide potential heirs to the Phoenix.
Take this
There's
one.
more of those cutthroats.
It was neck and neck there for a minute.
You're going to be a soldier.
Joshua.
Late title card.
Yes, much hype. I'm very ready for the to find out what happens next.
Not just my body, but my mind and my spirit are ready.
Indeed.
So yeah, the game continues as I mean, based on this, where you can carry the save file over. I assume this is the save file that you just start at the next cutscene and just keep going. I guess I'll find out soon, but
Yeah, very soon. Like I said before, there's the iconic challenge inside of the demo, but it jumps ahead in the story more than a couple of chapters and gives you some abilities that you shouldn't have at that point, just for the sake of giving you more of a feel of it.
yeah. After I heard that you described it that way, I was like, nah, but skip on that one. I'll just get there when I get there.
Yeah, definitely that one. Yeah, like I spent like 60 seconds in there saying, like, okay, I can do this. Oh, but what about this? And okay, I'm gonna put this down.
Just having fun in the what is it, the workshop, the combo workshop, being like, ooh.
Yeah. It was like we keep saying, like very very hyped, very excited. Reviews have actually started coming out as of time of recording. The sort of one sentence on them seems to be, "Oh my god, it's great."
Oh my god. Yeah. I'm trying to avoid those. Even the positive reviews, I'm trying to avoid, just because I was like, I was already sold. So.
Yeah. So I usually what I like to do is like if they've got like a video or an article, usually I go to the IGN one because they're really good about flagging how much of a spoiler they're going to have to get into the review in their first couple of sentences. And I appreciated that they essentially started theirs with, I can't really give you my review without talking about some things that happened later on in the game. So if you don't want that, leave now, and just suffice to say, would recommend. Like, all right, good. That's the perfect amount of information that I was looking for.
Nice.
Yeah. But we'll see if we continue this one, or this series, I guess, after the full game sort of comes out.
Yeah. I mean, for sure, I want to do the next part, like right after the demo ends on the old Jeff and David show, a little cross promotion there. But I feel like I would be remiss if I did not did not do a video on the new Final Fantasy when it came out.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's like, I mean, well, a Final Fantasy Devil May Cry crossover in everything but name.
And yes, and also like the early gooder parts
And
of
good
Game of Thrones.
Thrones.
I was like, oh dang, I'm right in the middle of this Venn diagram.
Mm-hmm.